breaking news right now from Adam Schefter. You're going to see his tweet here in just a second. But Adam, what do we know about Landon Dickerson?
Might have news within this hour, and the news is now in. Landon Dickerson is going to undergo a minor procedure here in the coming days to essentially clean up that meniscus in his right knee. The goal is to be ready for the Thursday night, September 4th regular season opener against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, when you have a meniscus injury, they could go in and repair it, and it would be a season-long injury for him, or you could opt to have it shaved down, get it cleaned up, and it's a much less invasive surgery with less time away from the football field. And in this particular case, he's opting to have that shaved down, repaired, and so now he should be able to come back here in short order. It could have been a lot worse. Whether or not he's back for the opener, I know Damian Woody's had this injury. He could speak to it, but from the sounds of it, I think he's got a realistic chance to play against the Cowboys on opening night.
Great news all the way around for Philadelphia. Great news. Again, like you mentioned, I had this injury, literally had it shaved down. I was back. I missed one game. That was it.
What a dog.
Yeah.
Dang,
I mean, not to toot my own horn, but no, this is great for Landon Dickerson. Yeah. Obviously, we've talked about one of the best guards that we have in that game, and to be able to, possibly go into the opening game, intact would be great for Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Huge. Dan?
While you were sleeping, a developing story and is potentially enormous news. Shafty, we saw Eagles Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson. You see him being helped off the field there and then being carted off the practice field yesterday. What can you tell us?
Philadelphia is holding its collective breath today, Greeny. Landon Dickerson is scheduled to undergo an MRI on his knee. Now, he has not missed any time in the NFL due to knee injuries, but he has a history of knee injuries dating back to college. The Eagles are hoping he's not going to be sidelined indefinitely. We'll see later today what that MRI shows, but he is a vital player along the offensive line of the defending Super Bowl.
Obviously doesn't look good when he's not putting weight on it, and then he's going off on the cart, though he's not on the back part. He's sort of riding shotgun. Try and read into anything you can. As a general manager, give us a sense of just how big a deal this is.
It could be very big. When you have multiple injuries at the same position, Kenyon Green went out a couple of days earlier. We don't know the extent of that. And keep in mind, Greeny, this is a team that lost mekhi, becton in the offseason. So now you're down to potentially your fourth alternative at guard.
I think it has Super Bowl repeat impact. I really do. What's the best part of this Eagles football team?
Their offensive
line. It's been their identity for a long time. No Becton. Kelsey retires 2 years ago. So now we're talking about the internal part. 60% of your offensive line in 2 years could be different. So thoughts and prayers and hopes that Landon Dickerson's not going to get hurt. Remember back last year's playoffs, he was essentially playing on one leg. This is a massive, massive deal. And if the news comes out that, and players know, when you're reading reports on the internet of guys were down on knees, and that gives you a lot of concern. I'm not going to overreact till officially it gets out, but I know last year, that guy right there, Saquon Barkley, ran behind directly Landon Dickerson 97 times for like 700 yards. He is one of the best and most physical guards in football.
And look, they still have one of the best teams in the league. We're not going to overreact to one injury, but I'm also a big believer in vibes and mojo. And when you lose a player like Landon Dickerson, potentially for a while, that always is a cause for concern, and it's the concern that the Eagles now have in a division where the Cowboys are dealing with the Micah Parsons issue, where the Commanders are dealing with the Terry McLaurin issue. The only team right now not dealing with a major issue like that,
Big Blue.
the New York Giants.
The New York Giants, led by Jackson Dart. We will get thoughts on that and more. In fact, let's do it.
So much to talk about, but the lead of today is it's back. The quest starts tonight. Preseason football. Birds back in action, Kev.
Just don't get hurt. That's it. Just don't get hurt. Let the boys figure it out a little bit. And, I think I've talked to you about this so many times. We view preseason completely different from what it was even 5 years ago, right? Really, the preseason is the first month of September for really the starters. Now it's just trying to figure out who could play, who can make the roster on the back end, because usually when this is all put together, it's really 6 to 8 guys that they're trying to figure out who can make the team, right? Especially a team like this. So just don't get hurt more than anything else.
When you're looking ahead, and I was doing this, Like, to me, if you were asked about the 5 kind of recipes for a repeat.
Yeah.
So I have, and we'll go through with you. Number one is Jalen Carter's number one, because Carter is so dominant that anything you lost on that line should be able to make up for.
I think that's great. Yes. And we also know that the way the Eagles operate, at the end of this season, Carter's going to get a monster contract. They're not messing around, right? So this is a year where it's, listen, show us what you got, man. and I think Carter knows that. And we're just touching literally the tip of the iceberg with this guy and how really good he can be. Like, he's still learning how to play. So you're 100% right, man. Like, I also think that while we have that in the front, the front defensive line, I think the biggest storyline, in camp so far has been the question marks at safety and losing, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and what are they going to do in that secondary, and Cooper seeing reps, and he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can play a variety of positions. Makuba being hurt, that plays a role here. I think safety concerns me. And safety, and this is Reed's last year, safety has been a concern over the last few years. The only time it's kind of been solidified is when you had CJ play on this team 2 different instances, and both times they went to the Super Bowl. So I think they've got to figure out what they have to do with the safety position.
With you. That was my second, and really in no particular order. But Cooper, listen, Coop's the answer. And, he's going to play. He could play. He's so much more valuable in the middle of the field, Kev. Whether it's nickel or at safety, that's what he does. He could play outside corner, but I think Howie told you, I'll go get Bennett, put him out there, and I need Cooper to play safety.
He's so instinctive. That's the one thing with Cooper. Like, again, go back to the last time we saw them play. That interception, right? If you ever go back and listen to the tracks, right? Baun, who I'm, by the way, wearing a shirt, Baun goes up to him after the pick 6 and says, that's a veteran move, man. Like, and when you hear Mahomes describe the play, like, he's clearly pointing out that how Cooper basically kind of disguised it and anticipated what was happening. And that's a rookie making that play, right? In the Super Bowl against what many believe is the greatest quarterback of all time, right? So I think instinctively Cooper can do anything. And you're right. You've got to have him more involved in the middle of the field. It just concerns me. Guys like Keely Ringo have not taken the next step that they were hoping for on that one side by losing Slay. And then you've got to look at Q potentially saying, all right, you're Rover everywhere. Instead of just saying, this is your side of the field, and we had Slay on the other side. Now it's like, all right, wherever the number 1 wide receiver is going to go, Q's got to go.
Yeah.
And that disrupts the kind of flow that you want to have where you have one guy here, you don't need to worry. They don't have that luxury right now as they try to figure it out over the next 4 weeks.
Now, the good thing is you're wearing Zach Baun's shirt. The guy next to Zach Baun is going to be special. You and I both loved him in college. And he is flying. I was talking to somebody down there the other day. They're like, dude, wait till you see. First of all, he doesn't even know the defense yet. And he's just flying. Like, making plays everywhere. Jihad is going to be a huge game breaker, like a big-time weapon on that side of the ball.
You're right. You're 100% right. And we're anticipating where this team's going to be. But, like, literally middle of the season, even a year from now, this will be a huge – that linebacker unit will be such a huge strength when you're going down the line with Baun, Dean, Campbell, and Trott Jr., right? I just – again, this is another one of those things with Howie where he has figured it out. We've seen him do this. I made a mistake. I'm going to correct it and figure it out and fix it, right? I will go a lot heavy SEC no matter what now, as we have a lot of ingredients of a Georgia-Alabama team. He made that mistake a few years ago, owned it, right? I'm going to sign Saquon Barkley and go premier running back. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to draft a linebacker in the first round. I'm going to pay a linebacker with Baun's contract. He is understanding, okay, those are the holes that I had previously, and you're 100% right. I think Jihad Campbell is going to be absolutely incredible. Give him time, because right now he is so raw, and he's got a dog mentality that this defense is going to fit so perfectly with Vic. Once he just knows where he's playing. I mean, I saw Saquon talk about him and compare him to physically raw to Micah. And when you can do that and you're impressing the running back on the other side, that says a hell of a lot. And just it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Because, listen, as Philadelphians, we identify with the linebacker on our defense. It's always been like that. It's how we looked at through, the eyes of Seth Joyner. It's how we looked at through the eyes of a variety of guys through the years, right? Like all the William Thomas, right? If you keep on going, Jeremiah Trotter, senior, like how he identified these defenses through the linebacking position.
Yeah, man, it's the truth. All right, other side of the ball, Kev.
Yeah.
Now, we're having this conversation. Even if I hear good things about Steen, but even if Steen is just, say, he's an average left guard, even if that's the case, right guard, even if that's the case, there were 4/5 of that line is elite. So I don't worry about that. The only thing you can look at besides injury,
that's a big
wide receiver depth. I mean, there's nothing else.
Yeah. I completely agree. I've heard good things about Jahan Dotson. I think some of the writers have said some good things about him getting on the same page with Jalen. But you're right. And I'm glad you prefaced by saying injuries. Because, listen, when you're on that line, we've seen some guys dinged up, and then you got to transition. I just believe in Stout so much.